Hello fellas, B Junior here from Endurance Productions YouTube channel, hanging in B Junior's Movie Cave today. I got for you a review today. I've got a DVD that was sent out by the wonderful folks over at the Shout Factory. It's another in the long running series of Roger Corman's Cult Classics re-releases that they're doing. And I need to stop and say that they are still doing a great job at these guys. I'm impressed every time they put one out. Even if they don't have a lot of special features with them, they usually have some kind of reversible cover art or a commentary. They have something extra on the disc, a trailer gallery or something on there. Give you a little bit of extra bang for your buck. And most of them have turned out to be pretty good transfers on all of their films. The one I've got today, I was waiting in the mail for some of these new releases like Battle Beyond the Stars that they're getting ready to release, and the Ron Howard action triple feature and stuff like that. Well, today I got one that I didn't see coming my way. The film for today's review is Streetwalkin. That's right. That's a hoe on the front there, man. This is a little, what's the best way I can kind of open this review up, guys? Streetwalkin, I had seen this movie one time, and I didn't even remember. I had totally forgotten about this film. I watched this one time years and years and years ago, late night Cinemax or HBO, some kind of up all night. I saw this movie, and once I watched about halfway through the movie, I remembered, oh man, this is that film I saw like 20 years ago. This is wild. Streetwalkin' is basically summed up as a 1985 movie. It's about a mid-80s exploitation style action drama about pimping and hoeing. That's basically all this movie's about. I mean, it's sort of like the textbook movie for being a pimp or being a hoe on the sleazy streets of New York City. I gotta be honest, guys, I didn't think much of it before I put this one in, but after I got finished watching this, I wanted to stick it right back in and watch it again. I had the greatest time watching this little flick, and I don't know why. Let me put it to you this way. If you like films like Suburbia, which is another Roger Corman release about the punk scene, it's kind of an exploitation drama. Other movies like Class of 1984, Vigilante by William Lustig, or even Savage Streets by Danny Steinman. This movie is right in there with them. And like I said, had this one not been re-released, I would have never thought to even go look for it at all. Especially since your video stores are closing down now and you can't get out and find these little long-lost gems there. This movie's great, guys. It's got a kind of a cast of people you may or may not know. It's really basically... It's made up of one of the main pimps in the movie. It was the dad in Pet Sematary, the original Pet Sematary, and the one of the main girls in the movie is played in that new movie, The Fighter, as the main girl in the movie. Her name is Cookie in the movie. Also, it has appearances by Antonio Vargas, that basically played Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch TV show. Also, Julie Newmar, who played Catwoman on the old Batman TV show. It's got just kind of a lot of faces that you've known. There's an African-American actor in here that everybody knows as Leon now. He only goes by his first name, Leon Robinson. They have him credited as Leon Robinson for this movie. But there's a lot of character actor faces and interesting characters you'll notice in this movie. Basically, the storyline is that a girl and her young brother land on the doorstep of New York City at Port Authority bus station, I think it is, or train station, one of the two. And basically, she's taken in by a pimp and shown how to be a hoe. And it's not, like I say, your first notion is going to say, well, judging by the cover and what you've told me so far, B. Junior, this is nothing but softcore porn. No, it's not a porn movie. There's only one little makeout scene in the movie, and very little to no nudity in the movie, but it's all about pimping and hoeing. I mean, it's an exploitation style movie. It's got action in it. There's fist fights throughout this movie, some little gunfights worked in there too. It's kind of an urban, sleazy atmosphere. It really captures the sleaziness of that time frame of New York's street walking atmosphere, or late night walking atmosphere. Basically, this girl and her brother, she turns to prostitution and gets in with this really rough pimp who's trying to make a name for himself. And there's other rival pimps, and that's what started making it enjoyable for me, because this is like, it's a world with hardly any police or any other people. It's just the world about pimps and hoes in this movie for a straight 85 minutes. There's this main pimp who's basically trying to make a name for himself, and he's real rough on the girls that he's takes care of or whatever. And basically, there's rival pimps. Antonio Fargas, Huggy Bear, basically, he's a rival pimp. He's kind of like your old school pimp who's been around the block from the 70s. He knows how to take care of his women, and he's real laid back. Then there's another rival pimp played by Leon in the movie, who's kind of more of your Wall Street upscale suit-wearing pimp, really clean, high-class kind of pimp, if there is such a thing. Basically, there's a lot of fistfights between these pimps in the movie, and it's just kind of, it's really weird because you're like sitting there laughing, and it's good fight scenes and stuff, but you don't know who to pull for in the fight scenes because all the opponents are all equally sleazy. You know, and like I said, it's so ludicrous of an idea, but it really captures that street atmosphere like other movies like Savage Streets and Vigilante, Class of 1984, you know, all of those type of movies. I really had a good time with this one, guys. I don't know if it shows or not, but I mean, you're probably thinking, how can you have a good time with just a movie about pimps and hoes? Well, that's what I was thinking. Whenever I watched it, though, it's not just about that. It's about them this girl and her little brother trying to survive on the streets, running from this pimp who goes crazy, and I don't know, action ensues at that point. But there seems to just be hardly any law enforcement around at all in this seedy underbelly of the urban environment that they live in. And work in. Julie Newmar plays one of the older hoes in the movie who basically has been on the street for a while, and she's getting ready to retire and trying to show the younger hoes the ropes and all this, the do's and don'ts of hoedom, or whatever you want to call it, of ho kingdom, or whatever you want to call it. But there's some hilarious parts in the movie too. It's not all just you know, it's not a kind of depressing movie. You know, like Suburbia, that's a good movie about the punk scene, urban drama. There's some action in it. But it ultimately ends on a down note, and it's just depressing, you know. This one isn't that. It's got some enjoyable, laughable moments in the movie as well. Look for if you ever get a chance to watch this one or Netflix, and I highly recommend it. Watch for the scene where the John, I guess you would call him, gets two of the girls to come up to his room with him, and he wants them to dominate him basically and treat him like a cow. And so they make him moo like a cow. Now, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to let you guys, your minds run with that scene. You're going to think I'm the sickest person in the world for watching this. Yes, it is rated R, but it's pretty clean for a rated R movie. I mean, there's little to no nudity in it. Like I said, there's no sex, hardly at all. For a movie about pimps and hoes, I would have expected more of that, you know, from just judging by the cover and everything. It does have an audio commentary with director-writer Joan Freeman and producer-writer Robert Altman, and trailers. It's a newly remastered anamorphic widescreen transfer 1781 ratio. Gotta say, it's pretty clean for one of these little low-budget mid-80s Roger Corman flicks. Like I said, I can't really say too much else about it other than the fact that it was really surprising. It was a fun little movie to watch. It's not for the youngsters. I wouldn't let the youngsters watch it, but at the same time, it's one of those I'm glad they sent out, and really, it's really nice to find a little surprise like this every once in a while that turns out to be a pretty good little ride. Anyway, it gets my thumbs up as far as a viewing experience. I'd say rent it or view it first before you run out and buy the cow or buy the taco. Just know that it does have reversible cover art inside, just like all these Shout Factory. There's the disc. Streetwalkin'. It's also got an opening theme song as well in the movie that's entitled Streetwalkin', and it's a theme song. I sat there and listened to the lyrics really close. The song is actually about pimping and hoeing. I mean, that's all it's about. I mean, this movie is like wall to wall from beginning to end, pimps and hoes. That's all this movie's about. There's I think this is the original one-sheet art that they set on the back of the cover here. That's included on the reversible. So you can pop this one out and rock this one if you're a Melissa Leo fan. Now, I believe she was in the movie The Fighter, and I think she won an award or something. Yeah, Academy Award-winning actress Melissa Leo. So I don't know whether they're just trying to capitalize on her or whatever because of the Academy Award, probably. But anyway, Roger Corman's Cult Classics line is still doing pretty good. Don't like every single one of them that's put out, but there's been a good bunch of these that have been sent to me by the Shout Factory that I can honestly say have been a great time and I'd love to revisit. So I'd say rent it, view it first, see if it's your cup of tea. If you like exploitation films, urban crime films, sleazy atmosphere kind of films like that, you're going to like this one too. there you have it. Street walking. About pimping and hoeing on the streets of NYC. Rock on, dudes. I'll see you next time.